Welcome to a conversation about a new study that's been done on DADA2. Today, we have some of our DADA2 community here from Italy, and I will let them introduce themselves. And we're going to talk a little bit about what this new study means for the understanding of DADA2. So let's go ahead with our clinicians and researchers to introduce yourselves and how long you've been studying DADA2.
So, hi, I'm a group leader. I'm Alessandra Mortellaro, a group leader at the San Raffaele Tenetton Institute for Gene Therapy in Milan, Italy. And our research aims at revealing the cellular and molecular mechanisms responsible for adenosine deaminase 2 deficiency, with the final goal of initiating one day a first in-human gene therapy clinical trial.
Hello, everybody. I am a pediatrician. I'm Federica Barzaghi, working in the immunohematology department here at San Raffaele Hospital. I oversee the diagnostic and therapeutic process of patients affected by primary immune deficiencies, with a particular interest in patients affected by ADA2 deficiency.
Hi, my name is Anna Maria. I'm 28 years old and I'm healed from DADA2 deficiency in 2018 thanks to bone marrow transplantation in San Raffaele Institute for Gene Therapy.
Great. So tell us about what you found through your study and why it's a new piece of information that helps us better understand DADA2.
Yes, in this study, we reported the clinical evolution of two identical twins, so namely Anna Maria and her sister, affected by ADA2 deficiency. They share the same genetic pedigree and live together since infancy to adulthood. This gives us the opportunity to follow the natural history of the disease. Indeed, they experienced the same clinical manifestations and particularly the hematological ones, with a delay in Anna Maria's sister. Does this study give us new insights on the importance of following ADA2 patients over time in order to diagnose complications as soon as possible, including the hematological ones? Despite the twins shared a similar but delayed clinical evolution, the disease evolution could be predictable in one of them, in Anna Maria's sister, allowing an adequate follow-up over time and the detection of disease progression.
Mm-hmm. Good. So, Anna Maria, tell us what it means to be part of this study. You and your sister have been studied your whole lives, right?
Yes, I've lived with DADA2 since the early years of my life, and so it is very important for me to contribute to scientific research. I'm healed after about 24 years, thanks to scientific research, and knowing that I can make my contribution to the lives of other patients is an extraordinary thing.
That's so great to hear. So tell us, what does studying twins help us understand about DADA2 in a single patient?
Because identical twins share the same genetic DNA, so this genetic code, comparing the clinical features of twins affected by a rare disease like DADA2 can help determine whether the variability depends exclusively on genetic background or may be influenced by the environment, such as the infections that the patients experience. Therefore, twin study may not only predict the progression of the disease, but also advise physician on the therapeutic management for patients with a similar disease course.
So, Dr. Mortellaro, did you discover that it is affected by other things other than genes, or is the genetic primarily the piece that predicts what's going to happen?
I would say that, these require, to answer this question, we need to do more analysis, and this will go on in the future.
So what kind of studies can you now do with this basis of knowledge?
But from a research standpoint, we plan to determine whether the delayed disease evolution might be due to somatic variants, for instance, arising during the disease course, or instead, we think that they may be due to chromatin remodeling, different chromatin remodeling in these two patients, instructed eventually by infection encounters. And this is what we plan to do in the future.
Good. So Anna Maria, tell us what it's like to be part of a study as a patient. Did you share your own personal experience? What is it all clinical data? What's it like to be part of a study?
Yes, I believe that my comments on living with DADA2 become part of clinical data. And in my opinion, it has allowed my researchers to study DADA2 also from patients' points of view. And I've always believed in doctor-patient collaboration.
Yes, it's so true. That's why we love this community and this network that we've built all over the world, that, started with the research and came when Dr. Chambers came in, and to try and connect everybody as much as we can. So that's great. And we're really excited about what's to come in the foundation next year. So tell us about the relationship between all of you. You've known each other for a long time. What's it like to know each other as patient and physician or researcher, but also maybe as friends at this point?
Yeah. Since I met Dr. Barzaghi and Dr. Mortellaro, I've not felt alone. You know that when it comes to rare disease, you feel very alone and not understood, not even by science. And Italian researchers have been very close to me. They have understood my rarity, and with them I no longer felt alone. They have understood the many dynamics of my real life, and therefore we feel very united team with the aim of finding treatments for DADA2 patients.
What about you?
I think we were lucky enough to meet Anna Maria and her sister at the turning point of their diagnostic path, because it was the year in which they received the diagnosis of ADA2. So we all know what it means living with ADA2 without knowing what is it. And I am happy that Anna Maria had such good evolution and response to a definitive therapy, and I hope the same for her sister. Moreover, if I can, I would like to thank them both, because really their participation to our research and our studies, also as a clinician, is a big help, because I'm sure they will help us in revealing prognostic markers that help the follow-up of the disease, and to really anticipate the indication of definitive therapy for any patient, which can really change life.
Yes. So is there anything else you would want to say to patients or clinicians or families or anyone else kind of wrestling through this challenge of DADA2? How would you encourage them? What would you say?
Yes. Now, thanks to bone marrow transplants in 2018, I feel very well, and I lead a completely different life from the one I led before the bone marrow transplantation. And I would never thought it for myself, because my situation has always been very serious. Now, if I am alive and I can realize all my dreams or my projects, it is thanks to the daily commitment of my researchers. My greatest strength in this life goes to scientific researchers.
That's wonderful. Anything else to add before we close out?
I want to really thank Anna Maria and her sister, because they really donated samples to us that are very important, and in future we hope that we can really develop gene therapy for DADA2 patients who have no compatible donor, or they are not eligible for a bone marrow transplantation.
Yeah,
And
it really,
all patients who participated in our research program.
it really will change it, right? This
Yeah, yeah.
Good. Well, thank you both, all three of you, for being part of this, and to Veronica, who can't be here with us today. We're just thrilled to share more information with the DADA2 community as we keep going toward a cure. So we really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. to
Thank you.